Antarctica. Bob asked the Great White Brotherhood a few questions, related to Antarctica, that was discussed on an internet program, about the secret space program. The following are the questions Bob asked, and the answers he received. Question. Is Antarctica being used as a spaceport to send UFOs into space? Answer. There is, indeed, a part of Antarctica that has large vents between the surface, and constructions deep in the ice, that are used to store space vessels. Some of these vessels are manufactured by Earth humans, and some by what you refer to as aliens. Question. Do you know about the 3 UFOs under the ice, 1, some miles long, and 2 smaller ones? Is it true, and what is their purpose? Are there beings in stasis within them? Are they pre-Adamites? What are pre-Adamites? Answer. There are vessels of alien origin, buried deep in the ice. We cannot confirm their size, but do not think that they are as large as you mentioned. The problem of describing the ship's origins, is because aliens live in the astral realms, and thus, cannot be given a geographic location. The beings that might be aboard these craft, would be robots. They are in what is called stasis, quite simply, because they have been switched off, to preserve their power source. We are not sure that humans have the technology to animate them again. The pre-Adamites. This is a description applied to mankind that existed before a catastrophe, many hundreds of thousands of years ago, destroyed much of the Earth, and its various populations. This race did not come from any planet, but were introduced by the directors of life, in a way that we will not attempt to describe now. Suffice to say, that this early race of humans were introduced, multiplied, and reached a certain level of technical sophistication, before being virtually eliminated by a catastrophe, provoked by man's warlike tendencies, which, in turn, provoked global problems. The result was what you refer to as an extinction event. Question. Is there a supergate, stargate, in Antarctica? Can it transport people from one place, to the end of our galaxy? Answer. Yes and no. The pyramids, which is what the person was referring to, is merely a broadcast homing signal, so, plays no part in projecting spacecraft anywhere. From a distant place, this homing signal can be detected, and the craft jumps from the spot that they are, to Earth, if they are using the technique we described in a previous message. Question. Are there, or were there, scrolls under the ice, a library? Did the Anchar take them? Answer. The scrolls mentioned, were not as described. They would resemble the hard disks, that are used in some computers. No moving parts, but are storage mechanisms. They were recuperated by the Anchar, as a precaution. They contained much information about technology, that it would be better that man did not have, at the moment. Question. Are there any genetic experiment entities under the ice? Answer. We cannot confirm that there were genetic experiments being conducted in Antarctica. There was life all over the planet, and most of it was eliminated. So, no doubt, genetic experiments were being conducted, just as they are today. But, not necessarily in Antarctica. Message from the Great White Brotherhood. We wish you to understand, that planet Earth was populated, just as it is today. However, when the dust settled after this cataclysmic event, the geography of Earth was totally altered. In fact, the topography that people associate with Antarctica, with cold and ice, did not apply to planet Earth at all at that time. Antarctica was in a temperate zone, much as where Java is situated today. The event that caused another shift, that resulted in the continent that you call Antarctica to be covered in ice, came much later. However, as virtually all the world's population had been eliminated, the remains stayed untouched for a long period of time. The only visitors to Earth were certain alien groups, but, all life being extinct, they had little interest in planet Earth. Eventually, the few survivors, helped by the directors of life, started to repopulate the Earth again, only to suffer yet another cataclysm later. This second event, placed the continent of Antarctica in its present position. We will discuss this second event at a later date. Now, the question is what has been discovered under the ice, Atlantis? This question cannot really be answered, because Atlantis was not limited to one small island. Atlantean people and technology was spread throughout the planet, much as most advanced countries now have spread their interests far beyond their original homeland. So, bits of Atlantis were spread all around the world. What is under the ice may contain some Atlantean influence, but most of it dates from a much earlier time. The rest of that civilization has been destroyed by time. It is only the deep freeze effect that has preserved this small amount of a previously, to us, advanced civilization. Lastly, we wish to say that scientists will puzzle for many years the different technology they are finding. Some of it is what you call pre-Adamite, pre-500,000 years old. Some of it might come from the Atlantean times and culture. Some of it might be alien in nature, and lastly, some of it might come from more recent civilizations that have been interested in that continent since its discovery. So, this mixture of cultures and technologies will give scientists something to think about for a long time into the future. However, this experience will open scientists' minds to the value of telepathy and what is referred to as remote viewing, which is just a way of reaching out with the auras. Thus, enabling them to trawl back in time to discover the truth about planet Earth and its different peoples. So, there is always a silver lining to any problem.